The year is 2012, and it's just over 2 months away from the much anticipated release of Mass Effect 3. January 31st, and the cast is announced. Returning favourites like Martin Sheen as the Elusive Man, Seth Green as Joker, along with some new faces like Freddie Prinze Jr. as James Vega and Jessica Chobot as Diana Allers, both of which are romanceable. It's game day, March 6th, and there's a ton of controversy, mostly about the ending to the series. But a little bit pops up about Diana Allers and her role in the game. You meet Diana on the Citadel, and she's a journalist for the Alliance News Network. She asks to join the Normandy to provide live updates to the people about the ongoing war effort. Fair enough, let's welcome her on board. After a mission, she asks to interview Shepard. You can use speech checks to bolster the interaction, but after the second interview, things take a turn for the flirty. After the third and final interview, you can romance her. A quick kiss with some poorly aged 7th gen models, and then cut to black. That's not so bad. The voice acting is a little stilted, but nothing crazy. Wait a second. Jessica Chobot? I recognize that name.
Hey guys, Jess here with your fix for Monday, July 13th.
How did a host for a video game news network make her way into Mass Effect 3? Jessica Lynn Horn was born in New York in 1977. She moved around a lot as a kid, and her parents kept her entertained with video games. She was a nerd before being a nerd was cool, and when she was in college, she role-played characters from Vampire the Masquerade of all things. After college, her career prospects were up in the air. For the moment, she's working as a store clerk in EB Games. Not sure of her career path, she has a quarter-life crisis. She spends all of her savings on a holiday to Japan. That's a transformative experience for her. In the US in 2005, gaming is still considered fringe and niche, but seeing it be accepted and mainstream in Japan changes everything for her. She returns to the US, and her goals are now clear. Get a job in the video game industry. At the time, she did some modeling to make ends meet while working her way into the video game industry. This is where Chobot would get her first piece of internet virality, with the infamous licking the PSP photo. Her photo shoot was on the day that the PSP released, and while looking at the photos after the shoot, a friend encouraged her to send it to Kotaku. To her surprise, they published it, and were inundated with emails asking about her. That same year, she went to E3, where IGN were having an event party. She met a representative from IGN who offered her some freelance work. So she dropped everything and moved to California to take up her dream job. She starts climbing the ranks, moving from a freelance position to a regular host of many shows, including the IGN Daily Fix. Along with that, she did some freelance work for G4, which brings us... Sorry, hold on. I need to talk about the PSP photo more. While researching this video, I came across the claim that this photo was widely parodied and even used in some Sony marketing. I couldn't verify that claim at all, but what I did find is tons and tons of clips from these gaming shows of her licking various pieces of tech. There's not just that clip, there's many, many more, and even some from other female hosts of that era that did the same thing. This type of content really is of its time. Hell, apparently Chobot hosted the IGN Babes column for a while, which, in case you're wondering, had some lifestyle content, and it promoted cosplayers and booth babes. God, what has my life come to? It's weird seeing what could make you internet famous over 20 years ago. I suppose part of the reason for that was that gaming wasn't considered cool yet, and the whole gamer girl trend hadn't really reached the cultural zeitgeist. Hello there. Have you watched my 5-part comedy crime miniseries called Midlands Mayhem yet? Oh, you haven't? Well, you really should check it out for free right now on midlandsmayhem.com. Okay, bye. Anyway, we're coming back up to the release of Mass Effect 3, and it's announced that Chobot will be in the game. She's ecstatic. Chobot is a massive fan of BioWare games, and it's a dream come true. According to her, this was all BioWare's concept, and they had final say over everything. She said that considering this was her first time voice acting, she'll have a much easier time playing a journalist because she's able to use her reporter voice. When she was first approached about the role, one of her requests was to make her character romanceable, which BioWare happily obliged. The character is modeled after her likeness, and when asked about her virtual avatar, she said, "You're not used to seeing yourself like that. I have huge chipmunk cheeks. I hope I don't look like a chipmunk in real life. And the butt and the boobs are impressive. I wish I had boobs like that. And the butt is quite large. I hope my butt is not that big. But I'm happy everything looks very firm in the game. Yes, she really said this, and yes, I spent hours finding this quote. A content piece for G4 is released, covering the Kinect usage in Mass Effect 3. And you'll never guess who's presenting it. Backlash across the internet. People calling this a conflict of interest. She's a games journalist, and she's in one of the biggest video game releases of the year. Her defense? That she's not a reviewer or a journalist. She's a host, and that's fair enough. Across her entire time working for gaming outlets, she's never once done a review. She also makes a fair point that the term gaming journalist is a bit vague. And does being a host put you into that category? Who knows, but regardless, it was a silly decision to cover it. Then the game releases, and even more controversy. As we all know, the ending was disappointing for Mass Effect 3. And Chobot, near the end of March, writes a piece on her blog to update her fans. This is where she makes a mistake. No, I haven't finished ME3 yet. No, I haven't sexed Diana Allers, although I plan to. And no, I don't want to know anything more about the absolutely ridiculous winefest that entitled gamers are having with BioWare. Oh no, she's hit the hornet's nest that is 2012 gamers. Even more coverage about this, including this article that used the worst photo of her that a writer could find. This prompted an apology from Chobot. You know what, folks? You're 100% right. I shouldn't have mentioned anything about my feelings about entitled gamers. She goes on to say that this was just a response to the reaction she received about her inclusion in the game. Well, surely it can't be that bad. Oh my god! Tons of people rip into her appearance in the game. NPC reporter Diana Allers seems way out of place. Her outfit is very stupid and hard to take seriously. Yeah, it was a pretty obvious attempt at buying a review that horribly backfired. Okay, well, that could be worse. Based on her voice acting, I think of her as Chobot the robot. Oh, can someone tell me why this useless bitch is in Mass Effect 3? Oh no. Spams the right trigger, hoping to hell there's a renegade action that involves beating her to death with her own spine. Oh god. Horrible voice acting, and completely useless. More than Zaid. Hey, you fucking leave Zaid out of this. People even went as far as to create a mod to remove her from the game. That's a lot, considering the first time you meet her, you can just tell her to piss off. But it wasn't just the community. Journalists also had their piece to say. Her appearance seems more like a calculated marketing plot than a union of creative talents. Something really felt off about the character, and the way she sounded. This obvious attempt at making the character look like their real-world counterpart is a complete fail in my book. An article pushed back about the character only being optional. If doing her questline leads you to getting war assets, which in Mass Effect 3 is the primary stat you have to build to unlock all the endings, then she's not completely skippable content. Well, these aren't as bad as the community. Or at least that's what I thought, until I found an article titled, "Don't Put That in Your Mouth." This is a terrible article. Allers didn't have a real role in the game. She was there as eye candy. Nay, it was something worse. She was a prostobot. What, did you pull that word from Futurama? Allers is a virtual manifestation of Chobot, who is sold and purchased solely for the purpose of sex. This article continues on to say, why don't you just go watch porn? I guess they'll just let anyone be a journalist. Weird hit piece aside, it wasn't uncommon for the community to play at the sex angle as well. People just saying heinous shit that I don't want to repeat. And also a lot of people gooning. The more things change, the more they stay the same. But out of all the criticisms, there is one that makes sense to me. Why wasn't this character Emily Wong? Shepard never had a great relationship with reporters throughout the trilogy. Emily Wong, however, was one of the good ones. An investigative journalist trying to expose corruption on the Citadel in Mass Effect 1. However, in Mass Effect 2 and 3, she only appeared in email form, being killed off in her final email. Seeing as she was already established in the games, Wong would have been a much better fit. Overall, Diana Allers is just an okay character. The voice acting is a bit flat. Yes, my glass house is quite nice. And the model is a little bit weird. Most players probably don't think much about it, not knowing who she is and passing her off as a random NPC. According to this poll, most don't even mind her inclusion. But as someone who knows who she is, it is a little distracting. It's a very niche cameo. And for those in the know, it could break your immersion. There's even some who want the mod removing her from the game to be ported to the Legendary Edition. As for Chobot, she does content around the paranormal. So good for her. I'm sure some find her inclusion annoying, but Mass Effect 3 has bigger problems than one side character.